Hello and welcome to another An Old Man Watches, and today I'm going to be talking about Puppet Master 3 from 1991. I've already spoken about the first two Puppet Master movies, now I'm talking about the third. This film is set in Berlin in 1941. Andre Toulon is the creator of a rather seditious puppet show, which is, more brave than it is wise, given the Nazi regime's lack of a sense of humour about such things. And sure enough, the authorities do send their stormtroopers after Toulon, killing his wife in the process. However, the motive for the Nazi attack is not because of, or not entirely because of, the seditious nature of Toulon's show. The primary motivator is that they have somehow discovered the secret of why his puppets seem so lifelike, which is that they are truly alive. You see, Andre Toulon holds the secret of an elixir that bestows life on otherwise inanimate objects. The Third Reich could use this secret to reanimate their slain soldiers on the Eastern Front and turn the tide of the war. Of course, Mr. Toulon, and more importantly his puppets, are not at all on board with this plan, and intend to express their opinion quite forcibly. So, this is the only Puppet Master film that I'm going to give a video all to itself. I did the first two movies as one video. I'm going to do 4 and 5 as one video when I get to them, and probably all of the other Puppet Master movies after that as one video. Let's talk about why this film sort of had enough to talk about in and of itself. So number one, although this is the third Puppet Master film, it's a film of firsts for the franchise. Number one, it's the first film to feature Guy Rolfe as Andre Toulon. This is a role he would reprise in Puppet Master 4, Puppet Master 5, and Puppet Master 7, as well as appearing in archive footage in other entries, making him basically the iconic actor for the role. 4 films, plus archive footage in other movies. Number 2, this film is the first appearance of the cowboy puppet Six Shooter, set front and centre of the image on your screen, who would go on to be one of the iconic puppets of the franchise, perhaps second only to Blade, who is the white-faced guy in the black trench coat. Number 3, it's the first film of the franchise, so definitely not the last, to be set in non-contemporary times. And number 4, and most significantly to my mind for the future of Puppet Master franchise, it is also the first movie in which the puppets are good guys throughout the film. In the first 2 movies, they spent much of the time on the orders of wicked men. In this, they are the tool by which Toulon wreaks vengeance on the Nazis following the murder of his wife. So this is a movie in which our murderous marionettes are good guys from the word go, which is a big change. Secondly, Puppet Master 3 is not a film that cares much about history, either real-world history or the history of its own cinematic franchise. If we look at the first one first, in terms of the real-world history, having the Nazis be desperate to replace the Eastern Front losses doesn't make a lot of sense in 1941. That was a year of untrammeled German success in their assault on the Soviet Union. It would make a lot more sense if this was set in, say, 1943, when the Western Allies are still not ashore in Normandy, but the situation in the East has become a bleeding wound with heavy casualties and the front line of battle falling back towards Germany. And then on the terms of the Puppet Master franchise and its own internal chronology, the first film gives Andre Toulon's date of death as 1939, which is a bit of an issue given that this film is in 1941. Now, that's relatively easy to hand-wave away, of course. You can just say, they got the date wrong in the records were wrong in the first film. Toulon changed the records to make it seem like he died earlier. Like, you can easily kind of justify, the date in the first film was wrong. But it is a sign, if I was going to say add a fifth first to my earlier list, it would be this is the first film in the franchise, but definitely not the last, to ignore or rewrite established Puppet Master continuity. So it is, again, creating a bit of a pattern that is going to follow on in the later movies. Now, you may be thinking, and this is a movie about killer puppets. Who cares if it's accurate to its own or to real-world history? And I can see your point. This is not a film that's meant to be a historical drama, after all. This is not like me sitting in the theatre watching Gladiator getting angry about how inaccurate it was to true Roman history. This is not a movie that is presenting itself as a historical film. At the end of the day, this is a movie that sinks or swims on whether it manages to entertain, and for my money, it does. Now, of course, it is a movie in which pompous Nazis get killed a lot, and I'm always happy to see Nazis get their comeuppance. That comeuppance comes at the hands of a bunch of sadistically inventive little marionettes is kind of a cherry on the top of the Nazi slaying Sunday for me. So yeah, I mean, Puppet Master 3 is a goofy bit of schlock, but for my money, it's a goofy bit of schlock, full of charm and full of Nazi killing, and on that basis, I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it's actually a fun little film. Next time, The Terror from 1963. A film starring Boris Karloff, and if you've got keen eyes, you might be able to see it also features a fresh-faced newcomer named Jack Nicholson. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. So we'll be talking about that next time. In the meantime, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.